Hare Krishna, Pranam dear devotees, Jai Shri Prabhupada, I bow to Meenakshi Mat and Pawan Prabhuji and Vishwanath Prabhu for leading the chanting this morning. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshitarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, welcome on this Saturday morning. Let's continue with our recitation of the prayer. Yes, anybody would like to sing today?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I would like to try.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Krishna hoite chaturmukha hoy Krishna sivonmukha Brahma hoite narade ramati Narada hoite vyasa madhava Kohi vyasa dasa Purna pragya padan Padmana Bhagati Narahari Madhava Vamshe Akshobhaya Paramahamse Shishya Bodhi Angikara Kore Akshobhera Shishya Jaya Tirthaname Parichaya Taradasye Jnana Sindhu Tori Taha hoite dayanidhi taradasa vidyanidhi Rajendra hoile taha te Tahara kinkaro jaya dharma name parijaya Parampara jano balo mate Jaya dharma dasya khyati Shri Purushottama jati Taha hoite brahmanaya tirtha suri Vyasa tirtha taradasa Lakshmipati vyasa dasa Taha hate madhvendra puri Madhvendra Puri Bara Shishabara Shrishwara Nityananda Shri Advaita Vibhu Ishvara Puri Ke Dhanya Kuri Lena Shri Chaitanya Jagata Guru Gora Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya Rupanuga Jane Rajivana Vishwambara Priyankara Shri Rupa Shri Swarupa Damodara Shri Gosani Rupa Sanatana Rupa Priya Mahajana Jiva Raghunathana Tara Priya Kavi Krishna Dasa Krishna Dasa Priya Bara Narottama Seva Para Jarapada Vishwanath Asha Vishwanatha Bhakta Satha Baladeva Jagannatha Tara Priya Shri Bhagati Vinoda Mahabhagavata Para Shri Gaurakishora Bara Hari Bhajanite Jaramodha Ihara Paramahamsa Gaurangera Nijavamsa Tadera Charane Nama Gati Ami Seba Udasina Namete Tridandi Dina Shri Bhagati Siddhanta Saraswati Shri Vrishabhana Babara Sada Sevya Seva Para Tahara Dahita Dasa Nama Tara Pradhan Prachara Ko Shri Bhagati Vedanta Namo Patita Janite Doyadhama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very beautiful. Okay, we will read the translation. Pawan Prabhuji, padenge? Would you like to read?
Prabhuji, I can try.
Yes, please.
In the beginning of creation, the science of devotional service was received by the four-headed Brahma from the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Devnasi Narada's understanding of this divine science was obtained from Brahma. The great sage Krishna, Divya Prayana Vyasa, who was empowered to compile the Vedic literature, became a disciple of Devrasi Narada. Sripada Madhvacharya, the founder of the Sudha Devita school of Vedanta philosophy, who visited Vasudeva at Badrika Ashram in the 13th century to learn from him Vedanta philosophy, called himself a servant of Krishna, Devya Prayana Vyasa. Purna Prajana Tirtha Madhava is the Guru and sole refuge of Padmana Bhava Tirtha. The two other principal disciples of Madhava are Narhari Tirtha and Madhava Tirtha. Madhava Tirtha accepted the great Paramhansa Akshobhaya Tirtha as a disciple. The principal disciple of Akshobhaya Tirtha was known as Jaya Tirtha. Jaya Tirtha's service was for his disciple Jnana
Sindhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I am not doing very good service in this reading, Prabhuji.
No, please continue.
Dayanidhi received the science of devotional service from Jnana Sindhu.
Hindi में ज्ञ बोलते ना ज्ञ ज्ञान सिंधु.
And the servant of Dayanidhi was Vidyanidhi Tirtha. Rajendra Tirtha became a disciple of Vidya
Dhiraj.
Raja Tirtha. Rajendra Tirtha, servant, was known as a Jaya Dharma Vijaya
Dhwaja.
Dhwaja Tirtha. In this way, you should properly understand this disciple or disciplic succession. The great sannyasi of Sri Purushottama Tirtha received his knowledge in the service of his Guru Vijay Dhwaja Tirtha, Jaya Dharma. The principal disciple of Purushottama Tirtha was Subramanya Tirtha. His servant was the great Vyasa Tirtha, Vyasa Raya. Vyasa Tirtha, servant of Lakshmi Pati Tirtha, whose disciple was Madhavananda Puri Goswami. The chief disciple of Madhavendra Puri was Ishwara Puri, and two of his other disciples were the renowned incarnation of Godhead Sri Nityananda and Sri Advaita Acharya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the spiritual preceptor of all the worlds, made Ishwari Puri gently fortunate by accepting him as his spiritual master. Madhava Puri, Sri Chaitanya is non-different from Sri Radha and Krishna, and in this very life of those Vaishnava who follows Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sarupa Damodara Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami were the givers of great happiness to Vishwa Brahma Sri Chaitanya. The great soul of Jiva Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami became very dear to Rupa Goswami. Jiva Goswami was a disciple of Rupa Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami, a disciple of Advaita Acharya disciple Yadunanda Acharya, was accepted by Rupa and Sanatana as their third brother. Raghunath Das Goswami, beloved student of Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami. Krishnadasa Kaviraj was an intimate friend of Loknath Goswami. They lived together in Vrindavan and always discussed the topics of Krishna with one another. Loknath Goswami, a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit, and only one disciple whose name was Narottam Das. Narottam Das was always engaged in the service of the Guru, and he always engaged himself in the service of his Guru's intimate friend. Thus, he became very dear to Krishnadasa Kaviraj Goswami. To serve at the feet of Narottam Das Thakur was the only desire of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who was the fourth Acharya in disciplic succession from Narottam Dasa. The Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was the Sikh Guru, instructing spiritual master of Baldeva Vidyabhushan, to whom he taught the precepts of Srimad Bhagavatam. Jagannath Das Babaji was a very prominent Acharya after Sri Baldeva Vishwabhusana, and was the beloved Siksha Guru of Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur, intimate friend and associate, was the intimate Mahabhagavata Sri Gaur Krishna Das
Kishore.
Babaji.
Kishore Das.
Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, whose sole joy was found in Hari Bhajan. These streets saintly Vaishnavas are all Paramhansas, or devotees of highest order, and they are all part of Lord Gauranga own spiritual family. Their holy feet are my refuge. I have no real interest in devotional service, and I am a poor and lonely Dandi sannyasi named Sri Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati. The renowned Sri Bhakti Vedant Vyasa
Varshabhanavi.
Varsinabhi
Daita Das.
Daityadasa, the initiated name of Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati, is always engaged in the service of his spiritual master, Sri Gaura Krishna Das Babaji. His foremost disciple, preacher is Sri A.C. Bhakti Vedant Swami Prabhupada, who has spread the message of Lord Chaitanya throughout the world and is thus a reservoir of mercy and compassion for all fallen souls.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for very nice
Sorry,
talk.
Prabhuji, I may not have done the justice to reading this.
No. Here, again, it's you read with a lot of love and with a lot of devotion. So thank you. And yes, of course, when we read these, first time it's always difficult. First time anything that we do is difficult, right? So as we keep on practicing, then we get better. So yes, of course, they are Paramhamsas, like we read, they are the devotees of the highest order. So they never take any offense. They only see our bhav and they only take our love. So that is what a Paramhamsa does, right? Like we read the other day, Paramhamsa is somebody who only takes the essence. So if you give it milk mixed with water, it will only take the milk. It will leave back all the water. So ऐसे ही हमारे आचार्य हैं. हमारे अंदर कोई भी क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं हो, लेकिन अगर सिर्फ भाव है, श्रद्धा है, so they just take that. That's it, right? And they ignore all the other shortcomings. But yeah, now you read very nicely. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Or yeah, so like this prayer written by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who's, like we said, is the spiritual master, Sri Guru of our Srila Prabhupada. So he is mentioning that he is just a poor, lowly Tridandi sannyasi, again out of humility. They always teach us by their acharyas, always teach us by their achar how to remain humble. Because humility is the first qualification that we need to be able to chant the holy names. Because in this age, like we know, again and again we say, right, Kaliyug keval naam adhara, sumar nar utrahi para. In this day and age, kalir kale, Naam Rupe Krishna avatar. So Krishna has come in the form of Naam, and this is our whole and soul in terms of austerity, tapasya, bhakti. Everything can be achieved just by chanting the holy names of the Lord. But to chant the holy names of the Lord, the first qualification is humility, or to be able to chant the holy names consistently and continuously. Sattam Kirtayantamam, or Kirtaniya Sadahari, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. So if you have to do Kirtan Sada of the Lord, then we need to develop the quality of humility. And that is what these acharyas teach us. That even despite their Paramhamsas, he's saying, I'm just a lowly Tridandi sannyasi. And Tridandi, why Tridandi? Because by with our body, mind, and words, all three we have to utilize in the service of the Lord. Like Prabhupada used to say that books are the basis, purity is the force, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. So when we read the books of Srila Prabhupada, when we read books of our acharyas, then we understand the philosophy, and then we want to do service. And when we follow the regulative principles and we chant, then we get purity. and that is the force. And once we do both of those, like the other quote that we shared the other day, also Prabhupada said, why did I write all these books? And then the disciple says, so that we can understand the philosophy. And Prabhupada says, no, so that I can convince you to chant the holy names. So like that. So when we read the books, then we understand the philosophy, and then of course we get to the point of chanting, and we try to improve our chanting every day. It's not one day, one and done. It is every day journey, and no matter where we are on the journey, there's always room for improvement. So we can always improve the quality of our japa. So that is what happens when we continuously try to improve, then we get more and more and more pure, because ultimately we have to get fully pure. Only then we can cross from this modes of material nature back into pure spiritual world. So to get to that state, we have to practice every day. So read the books. Books are the basis. Purity is the force by following the regulative principles and chanting attentively. Then after that comes preaching is the essence. Then we can share what we have learned, what we have experienced, what we have realized with others around us, so that we can at least help others in the journey. And then utility is the principle. Utility means using our body, mind, and words, everything for the service of the Lord and His pure devotees. So that is the mood that we should develop and gradually try to progress step by step. Okay, so let's continue with Prabhupada Ramat. Yesterday we saw Prabhupada was also initiating his disciples as sannyasis, and we saw His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was initiated on the day of Radhashtami, 1970. And Prabhupada was encouraging all his dancing white elephants, as he was saying. So they're all becoming pure just by this following this process, right? They were hearing from Prabhupada, hearing Harikatha, reading Srila Prabhupada's books. They were chanting sincerely, attentively. They were trying to preach whatever they had learned, by taking part in Rath Yatra, by doing Harinam outside on the streets. They were inspiring so many Indians who were in tears looking at these Krishna bhaktas who had so much of bhakti in their heart. So they were inspiring everybody. So that was the preaching that they were doing. And of course, they had given up everything, right? And the utility is the principle for them. Body, mind, and words completely surrendered to their Sri Guru. So that was an amazing story yesterday. So Prabhupada installed the deities in London, and yesterday, yes, I think I heard a little bit from Malati Mataji's class yesterday. I couldn't hear fully, but I think she was talking something about that. I did message her yesterday that we were reading about her yesterday morning only, and that she and the other two couples, the three couples totally, they had gone to London and they had helped Srila Prabhupada in establishing Krishna consciousness in London, and about her little daughter Saraswati. So it was good that Mataji visited us yesterday, and she'll be here today, so we can get more of her association. Okay, let's continue. Chapter 33, a lot of ground to be covered. Srila Prabhupada was traveling to Indore to attend Gita Jayanti Mahotsav. Srila Prabhupada was the last speaker, and he spoke after many Mayavadi interpretations of Gita, that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only through disciplic succession. Then Srila Prabhupada asked his disciples to perform kirtan and was very angry hearing the Mayavadis speak, and decided from next time he would come first, speak, and then leave, so that he need not hear the Mayavadis. Srila Prabhupada asked Hamsadutta Prabhu to make life members by giving Krishna books, and there were close to a dozen life members in a few days. One astrologer came, and Srila Prabhupada said, by clapping and dancing in the kirtan, the Hath ki lakire change. Srila Prabhupada told story of one woman who used to get a pot of water for bathing the deities in the morning, and she did not miss even one day. And Srila Prabhupada said that for this one service, she will go back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada said, one who is serious about spiritual life will wake up early in the morning and engage in chanting Hare Krishna. Next, Srila Prabhupada went to Surat. Seeing the devotees there, Srila Prabhupada said that it is a city of devotees. Srila Prabhupada bought 24-inch brass deities and travelled to Allahabad, where Kumbh Mela festival was starting. Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture stating how during Samudra Manthan Leela, some portion of nectar fell in this place, and said that in 6 or 12 years, a jug of immortal nectar gets poured into the Triveni of Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati confluence. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami here And also, Srila Prabhupada took initiation from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur here. Srila Prabhupada said, by bathing here, one can get liberation, but devotees are not interested in liberation. We want personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It was very cold, but Srila Prabhupada got up for Mangala Arati the next day, and Srila Prabhupada was unhappy that many devotees came later or did not come for Mangala Arati. Srila Prabhupada demonstrated by personal example the importance of Brahma Muhurta time and Mangala Arati. Srila Prabhupada said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never lectured in public, but always did Harinam Sankirtan and arranged for mass prasadam distribution. He said, by doing this, one would remember the name, quality, pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada said, whatever may be one's mental state, he should always remember Krishna, and best way of remembrance is by chanting his holy name. Next place was Gorakhpur, and he stayed at a disciple's place and wanted to establish a Radha Krishna temple within Gorakhpur's university campus. Next place was Banaras. Srila Prabhupada arrived at the festival in a chariot, preached and gave initiation. Back in Gorakhpur, Srila Prabhupada was thinking of installing Radha Krishna deities in the campus. He set up the altar, sewed nice dresses for the deities, and worship of the deities started from the next day. Srila Prabhupada taught how Bhoga offering is done through the Guru Parampara up all the way to Lord Krishna. Next place was Bombay. It was to be an 11-day Pandal program. Srila Prabhupada said that the Pandal program was the best way to connect America's ingenuity with India's spirituality. Very well advertised and organized by Srila Prabhupada's disciples as Hare Krishna festival, Shyamsundar Prabhu filled a big helium balloon and sent it out in Cross Maidan, calling it the Hare Krishna festival. Prabhupada went into each detail to ensure that his disciples are not cheated. Srila Prabhupada said, we should not force people to serve. However, we can trick them to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. The Pandal program was a big success with Kirtan, Prasadam and lecture. Srila Prabhupada also conducted a Vedic wedding and initiation as part of the 11-day Pandal program. The final day was the deities of Radha Krishna. The final day was when the deities of Radha Krishna were taken on procession in Chapati and Rath was pulled by the devotees, and Srila Prabhupada spoke about building a wonderful big ISKCON training center and a beautiful temple for Radha Krishna and seeking cooperation from all for this endeavor. Abroad, Srila Prabhupada would give idea and his disciples would carry it out. But in India, Srila Prabhupada was in the thick and thin of all endeavors. Hare Krishna, chapter 33. Yes, so this is the beautiful picture of the Pandal program in Bombay. Next place was Bombay. It was an 11-day Pandal program. Srila Prabhupada said the Pandal program was the best way to connect America's ingenuity with India's spirituality. Very well advertised and organized by Srila Prabhupada's disciple as the Hare Krishna festival. Ki Jai. Nice, we see beautiful, beautifully set up Pandal and nice Vyasasan for Srila Prabhupada. And the dancing white elephants are dancing in the Sankirtan. Yes, Prabhupada was very particular about everything, the details, even though he was so much engrossed in the letters and instructions that he had to give to his disciples all over the world. Still, he was very, very particular about all the intricate details. So like we were reading here, that he was, he went into each detail to ensure that his disciples were not cheated. He would personally take care of all of these things, at least because this was the late 60s, early 70s, and he didn't have many Indian disciples. And of course, how people deal with things in India, because we are, as humans, like we have those 4 defects. We are not perfect. We have cheating propensity, right? So people always try to cheat, be it anywhere, but especially in India. So he didn't want his disciples to be cheated. So he was personally involved in all the kind of business transactions, but also he was very, like the point here I was trying to make is very detail oriented. He will, like I was hearing one lecture by my Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj was mentioning how Prabhupada was, you know, he was he had, even though like he is so looking at across the whole world, but his eyes into detail were so sharp. Like everything he would look. First thing he said, whenever he will come to any temple in India or anywhere, first thing he will observe is the cleanliness. How? Because that clear, that straightforward indicates our purity, and he'll be very particular about cleanliness. So if he sees things are not in order, we remember when we were reading Prabhupada, even before, he would go to some temples and things were a bit strewn around on the floor, and immediately he would immediately start picking things up, and looking at him, others will also follow. Um, because like even the rats, and when there are rats in some places, Prabhupada would say, if you keep the temple clean, then these rats will not be there, right? Otherwise, it will be infested with rodents. So, and once that other pastime also, Maharaj was mentioning about how they were all sitting in Vrindavan once, and that bookstall that they had nicely made, where they had a good display of Srila Prabhupada's books, and also once, in the same, more like in Krishna Balaram temple, they were all sitting. So Maharaj was saying, Prabhupada came, and then Prabhupada said, "So, how is everything? Everything is clean?" And then and everybody was saying, "Yes, Prabhupada, everything is clean." So everything is, and Prabhupada this, and then showed them, right above their head, there was a bird's nest. And then he said, "Look at that nest up there." So, and then if that is there, then of course the birds' droppings will be there and everything. So everything was very nice, and the whole temple was clean. But this one thing on, he found a bird's nest, and he was chastising his disciples for that. So yeah, Maharaj was saying that Prabhupada had very sharp eye into detail, and he was very, very, very particular about cleanliness. So again, because it is like, what is there internally inside will also come outside, right? So it's also an external representation of how clean we are inside. So that's why cleanliness is next to godliness, as Prabhupada used to say. So yeah, when we, not just external but also internal, so it's vice versa, right? If we are internally clean, then externally also will be clean. That's why even for japa, when we say there are the 6 principles that Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Bhajan Rahasya, and also Sanatan Goswami mentions in Hari Bhakti Vilas, that mana samharanam shaucham. So first thing is we have to control the mind, right? And like we said yesterday, mind, or a few days ago, we were saying that controlling the mind is the most difficult thing, as Arjuna was saying to Krishna also. So controlling the mind, making the mind स्थिर एक जगह पे स्थिर करना बहुत ही मुश्किल है. But that is what we try to do with japa. So if you are able to do japa in the Brahma Muhurta, as Prabhupada is saying again in today's reading, he's emphasizing about Brahma Muhurta, about Mangala Arati again and again and again and again. That is why, because we develop purity by following that process. So mana samharanam also happens when mind can be still, mind can be controlled only when we are fully focused and attentive. And that can only happen when we are not in the midst of distractions. And this is the best time to avoid those distractions. So mana samharanam, we can control the mind by following these processes of rising early in Brahma Muhurta, chanting with attention. We can control the mind. So that is mana samharanam. Then shaucham. Shaucham is cleanliness. Cleanliness both internally and externally. How do we get externally? Of course, we take a bath, we wear fresh clothes, everything. And internally, of course, by chanting the holy names, we are purifying our consciousness, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So that is the second principle. Then maunam. Maunam is when we don't try to speak unnecessary words, no prajalpa, no unnecessary talk, loose talk, criticizing, those kind of things we should avoid, and just utilize our tongue in glorifying the Lord, glorifying the Lord's devotees by reading, because when we read also, we are using our tongue in the service of the Lord. When we are chanting, we are using the tongue. When we are doing kirtan, we are using the tongue in the service of the Lord. So that should be the maunam. Maunam is not speaking unnecessary words, not criticizing others. So that is the third principle. And then mantrartha chintanam, by focusing our mind on the mantra. That we say that mano madhye sthite mantro, mantra madhye sthite mano. So the mind and the mantra should kind of be joined, intertwined. So when the mind is fixed in the mantra and the mantra is fixed in the mind, then that is the best combination of doing japa, of remembering the Lord by chanting the holy names. So they should become one. So that is mantrata chintanam. We should meditate on the meaning that, oh my Lord Krishna, oh, the energy of Lord Shri Krishna, Shri Radha, please engage me in your service. And by chanting is the topmost service. But any service that we are inclined to do, we should be praying to the Lord that may we be engaged, forever, eternally in the service of the Lord. So that is mantrata chintanam. We are meditating on the Mahamantra, each and every word that we utter and we carefully hear. So those are the four. And then Avyagratvam, Anirveda, those are the last two. Avyagratvam is steadiness. Like we should, whatever we have taken a vow that, okay, I will chant. If you're not initiated, then whatever vow we have taken in terms of, how many rounds we'll chant, 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, 12 rounds, how much ever. Or if you are initiated, then 16 rounds or even more. Some devotees chant even more than 16 rounds. There were some devotees I know have taken vow to chant more than 16 rounds even during initiation. So whatever our vow is, what we have committed to Sri Guru, to Sri Krishna in the temple, so those we should chant. We should try to chant at the same time as much as possible. So like we are trying to chant like that's why again we are trying to do this endeavor to chant in the morning. But again, if you're not able to chant in the morning, the whole round at least, you should try to chant 1 round, 2 round, whatever is possible in the morning. And then remaining, whatever we can according to our schedule, our availability, as best as we can. Again, Krishna only sees the bhav. So if we are sincerely trying to endeavor, then Krishna will give the opportunity and he will make arrangements for us that we can wake up and we can chant. But we should have that sincere desire. That is the only thing that we can have. If we have sincere desire, then the Lord will reciprocate. But if we become loose, we say, okay, today is okay, we'll see tomorrow, then that today or tomorrow will never come. Right? So that is a avyagratvam. That is being steady. Whatever we have committed, being steady in that. Chanting prescribed rounds and chanting at the prescribed time. And avyagratvam and anirveda. Anirveda is without haste, being patient, not expecting result that we are doing this, immediately I expect some result. Right? That's the main instruction Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita also to Arjuna, that you have the right to perform your duty. Right? With our desire, we can perform the duty, but we have no control and we have no right over the results of our activities. That is completely in Krishna's control. So being patient, just that, and our acharyas have given us this process with full faith, with full surrender, full dedication, full steadiness, with enthusiasm, with determination. We continue utsaha nishchayat and dhairyat, that patience, right? That is Anirveda. So with patience, we continue to march. Every step, like we say, every name that we utter, every service that we do is taking us one step closer to Sri Krishna. It's just that we don't realize that, but it is true because it has been said by Srila Prabhupada and by all our acharyas, by Guru Parampara. So we should have firm faith. Like that example we were giving, if we are walking in a cave, in a tunnel, we have nothing, like there's no light, we cannot see anything, it is pitch dark. The only thing that we have is we are able to hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra spoken by our predecessor acharyas. It's like the acharyas are walking ahead of us and we are walking in this tunnel right behind them. And the only thing that we can hear is just this holy name, holy sound. We just continue to follow behind them, just keep walking. Suddenly at the end of the tunnel, you will see light at the end of the tunnel. And that light will certainly come if we continue to follow in the footsteps given by the acharyas. So those are the 6 principles. So mana samharanam shaucham. So the point we are trying to make is cleanliness. Cleanliness is so important. Prabhupada was very, very particular about cleanliness. And cleanliness is both external and internal. So mana samharanam shaucham, maunam mantrartha chintanam, avyagratvam anirveda, japa sampatti hetava. So if we have these 6 principles, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that we can get from offensive chanting to offenseless chanting, Because initially when we chant, we have so much of offenses. We are not careful, we are not attentive, we may criticize, we may think there's nothing in this holy name, this is just mental speculation. All these are offenses. We have criticizing mentality to other devotees. So that is all, not following instructions of Sri Guru. Right? All these are offenses. Initially, when we start chanting, we will be committing these offenses. But if we follow these 6 principles, then slowly, gradually, we get to the state of offenseless chanting, from Nam Aparad to Nam Abhas, which is clearing state, to Shuddha Nam, which is the pure chanting in the pure Nam, Shuddha Nam. So that is our ultimate goal. But right now we are in the neophyte stage. We commit so many offenses, but we have to just follow these principles. Hari Bol. Okay. Anything else from anybody? Mataji, hope you're feeling better, or you're still recovering.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, getting there a little bit slowly. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Anything else? Prabhakar Prabhu, Pawan Prabhuji, कुछ बोलेंगे? Anything, Prabhu?
Nothing, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Pawan Prabhuji. You are on mute, Prabhuji, if you're speaking.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, all is good.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you for reading the prayer again. Translation
Yeah,
today.
Prabhu,
Boliye,
yeah,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, what he mentioned, the points really good. When I was studying in engineering, in that time I took Mauna Brata in Sunday. So when I'm coming to Monday, I'm more energy, Yeah, all the Sunday I'm doing the Mauna Brata, nothing to talking to anybody, just thinking about God all.
Yeah, and we see that you can use practice. It's very possible. If you keep practicing, like you said, I'm sure you're saying you're already practicing. So जब हम ज़्यादा नहीं बोलते हैं तो ऑटोमेटिकली भगवान का चिंतन होने लगता है. माइंड ऑफ कोर्स भागता है, लेकिन once you bring it back, then भगवान का चिंतन होने लगता है, भगवान का नाम चलने लगता है. So yes, that is very important. Actually, other day, I was talking to Amarendra Prabhu class mein, he was saying this example that we recently, he said one of his friends shared a video, and it was a video of the IIT toppers. So the toppers, their first rank, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, fifth rank. So all 5 of them, he was saying that in the video, it was only 30 seconds, 40 seconds clip, but when they were interviewing them, they asked them to take out their smartphone. So each one of them took their smartphone. First rank took out, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, fifth rank. All of them took out their phones. And then the thing common across all 5 of them was that all of them didn't have a smartphone. They had जो पुराना जो बटन वाला फोन होता था ना, जिसमें स्मार्ट तो सभी 5 के पास में वही फोन था. So the key message there was that in today's world, everybody is so distracted. हम smart बनने के चक्कर में इतने ज़्यादा fool बन रहे हैं, right? तो smartness तो जा रही है कहीं और, इंसान और fool ही बनता जा रहा है. तो the point was that all of them, they had given up that distraction of the smartphone. खाली phone, basic phone था, just to call, that's it. And all their time and energy and focus was in their studies. So it's very very true. Material में भी हम वही देखते हैं, जो successful बनना चाहते हैं, they're very focused, without being distracted to all the things around them, right? And so it's possible, but it is very very difficult. So इसलिए ज़्यादा लोग नहीं कर पाते हैं. But yeah, we see these toppers. He was saying everybody had just basic phones. So वैसे ही हम लोग को भी all these distractions we have to avoid. Just use unnecessarily इसका गपशप कर रहे हैं, उसके बारे में कुछ बोल रहे हैं, right? All these things if you avoid, then automatically our tongue will be utilized in the service of the Lord. Yes.
Right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, thank you. So we'll see you all hopefully this evening for the wonderful discourse by Mother Malati at the center. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि
Hari
बोल।
Hari Bol.
हरे
Hari
कृष्ण
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।